The chamber was so quiet that even the hovering translation drones seemed afraid to beep. Admiral Ortega leaned slightly toward Lieutenant Adrian Hale and whispered, "If you say anything stupid today, remember we are currently surrounded by an alien fleet the size of a small moon." Adrian nodded thoughtfully. Good to know the pressure is low. Across the vast circular chamber, the alien delegation stood in perfect formation. At their center was the Queen, tall, calm, and almost human, except for the long, elegant ears that curved slightly behind her head. Faint dark veins glimmered beneath her pale silver skin each time she spoke. She began speaking again. The sound of her language flowed through the chamber like layered music. Soft tones stacked on top of each other in a rhythm no human mouth should easily reproduce. 3 translation drones hovered between the delegations. The first drone whirred loudly. Processing, diplomatic phrase, detected, possible meaning, we welcome. The second drone interrupted. Correction, possible meaning, we tolerate your presence. The third drone flickered. Correction, possible meaning, why are you here? The human diplomats collectively stopped breathing. Adrian rubbed his forehead. Those robots are going to start a war before we do. Ortega whispered, quiet. The Queen finished speaking and the chamber fell silent. The drones spun in confused circles, emitting anxious electronic chirps. One of the alien generals tilted his head slightly, long ears twitching with irritation. Minutes passed. No translation came. The tension thickened. Adrian felt something strange stir in the back of his mind. Not a thought exactly. More like an old memory stretching after a long sleep. The Queen spoke again, this time longer, her voice echoing through the chamber like a calm storm. The drones froze. Translation error. One finally announced. Adrian blinked. Then, before his brain had time to consult the part responsible for good decisions, he leaned forward slightly. And he spoke. Not in English. The alien language slipped out of his mouth as naturally as breathing. The sound rippled across the chamber. Every head turned toward him. Adrian didn't stop. And that, he finished calmly in the Queen's native tongue, is why the cosmic crab failed the Royal Intelligence exam, because it kept answering every question with, "I'm just here for the shell benefits." The silence that followed was powerful enough to bend gravity. The human diplomats stared at him in horror. One of the alien guards nearly dropped his weapon. The Queen slowly rose from her seat. Her glowing veins brightened. Her eyes widened. For a long moment no one moved. Adrian cleared his throat quietly. "Well," he muttered to Ortega. "On the bright side, I think I pronounced the punchline correctly." For several seconds, nothing moved. The translation drones floated in the air like confused pigeons. Admiral Ortega slowly turned his head toward Adrian. "Lieutenant." "Yes, Admiral? Did you just speak alien?" Adrian thought about it. "Technically, yes." "Do you know alien?" "Technically, no." Across the chamber, the alien delegation erupted into rapid whispers. Their language bounced sharply between them, tones rising and falling like a flock of startled birds. One of the tall alien guards stepped forward, long ears twitching violently. His hand tightened on the strange curved weapon at his side. The Queen raised one hand. Instant silence. She stepped down from her elevated seat with calm, deliberate movements. Her long ears angled slightly forward as she studied Adrian like a scientist examining a particularly confusing experiment. She spoke. No translator moved. Adrian heard the words clearly in his mind, as if they had been waiting there for years. "Human, repeat what you said." Adrian blinked. "You mean the joke?" The Queen tilted her head slightly. "Yes." Admiral Ortega leaned toward him urgently. "Do not antagonize the alien monarch." Adrian whispered back, "I think we're past that stage." He cleared his throat and spoke again in the Queen's language. "The cosmic crab applies for a job in the royal fleet." A few alien advisors exchanged confused looks. Adrian continued. "The officer asks, 'Do you have any combat skills?' He paused dramatically. The crab says, 'No, but I bring my own shelter.' A translator drone suddenly activated. Possible meaning detected. Aquatic armored organism, seeking employment. Unclear humor structure. The alien court remained frozen. The Queen stared at Adrian with growing disbelief. Then something strange happened. Her eyes widened. Not with anger. With recognition. A long moment passed. And then, she laughed. Not politely. Not diplomatically. She laughed loudly, bending slightly as the sound echoed through the massive chamber. Several alien officials looked as if gravity had suddenly stopped working. One of the human diplomats whispered, Is she malfunctioning? Adrian rubbed the back of his neck. If she is, I think I caused it. The Queen slowly regained control of herself, though quiet laughter still escaped her. She looked directly at Adrian again and spoke softly in her language. Where did you hear that joke, human? Adrian opened his mouth and realized he had absolutely no idea. The silence returned, but this time it felt different. Before, it had been the silence of diplomats calculating war. Now it was the silence of everyone trying to understand why their ruler had just laughed at a human crab joke. Adrian shifted slightly in his seat. That's actually a fantastic question. Admiral Ortega whispered. Answer carefully. I would love to, Adrian whispered back, if my brain would cooperate. The Queen watched him patiently. Her long ears tilted slightly forward, the alien equivalent of curiosity. Adrian rubbed his temple. I don't remember learning it. A low murmur spread through the alien court. One advisor spoke sharply in their language. Another responded in a rapid stream of tones that made the translation drones panic and emit distressed beeping noises. One drone tried to translate. Statement detected possible meaning. This human is either lying or extremely stupid. Adrian pointed at the drone. That machine is starting to hurt my feelings. The Queen ignored the drone completely. She stepped closer, studying Adrian's face, as if searching for something hidden beneath the surface. Human, she said softly in her language. How old are you? Adrian answered automatically in the same language. 32. Several alien officials froze again. Admiral Ortega leaned toward another diplomat. Is he still speaking alien? Yes. Should we stop him? How? The Queen's expression shifted slightly, something thoughtful passing behind her silver eyes. Do you remember meeting one of my people before today? Adrian opened his mouth, closed it again. A strange pressure formed behind his eyes. Not pain, more like a door in his mind slowly unlocking. He began. A fragment of memory flickered. A dark night, cold air. A tall figure kneeling in front of a frightened child. Long ears. A calm voice speaking gentle, musical words. And then a joke. The same joke. Adrian blinked, confused. That's impossible. The Queen's expression softened in a way that made several of her advisors visibly uncomfortable. She spoke again very quietly. Tell me, human, when you were young, were you ever very afraid of the dark? Adrian felt the strange memory tug again. He laughed nervously. Honestly, I was afraid of everything. A faint smile appeared on the Queen's face. Yes, she said softly. I remember.